Good morning from the berry patch. We will be live here in just a few minutes, finishing up some final preparations and getting settled into the armchair. So bear with us and then we'll start this beautiful morning of study. Sorry we're late to start this morning. I have not been feeling the best for the last few weeks, as I've mentioned before. Good morning, dearie. I will have everything turned on and functioning here shortly. Please bear with me. Hey, praying you'll feel better, Morgan. Brooke, hello. Give me just a few minutes here, guys. I had to intervene with the kids, so it slowed down my progress. For anyone who has been reading along with our studies, today's passage is in the description of this live, but we are in the book of John, chapter 1, verses 19 through 28. All right, let me go get into my armchair. I gotta make coffee today still, but you guys, I love how you put a seat right in the path of the walk. Right in the walkway. All right. It's gonna be one of those days. I need my coffee. My Bible open. I got my hairbrush. Oh, apparently I'm gonna mute my ringtone. All right, I know.
I can't reach my cup right.
Well, you're the one who wanted it up on the stool. If you can't reach your cup, maybe you need to reevaluate your approach. Huh? What am I setting up? Oh, that's been missing for a hot minute, guys.
I found it.
What is happening here? It's just going to be a morning. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Berry Patch in all my mom glory. Hi. I'm very slowly trying to get myself set in a way here that allows the phone to charge, allows me to read the chat still, doesn't put a huge phone shadow in my face. That's unavoidable with the placement of the windows in this apartment, which is fine. Oh, get us comfy cozy. Hello there, Nebula Official. Welcome in. All right. So we are going to get started here. As I said, we're in the book of John today, chapter 1, verses 19 through 28. This is great. This is John talking about the Messiah on his way. Now, this was John's testimony when the Jewish leaders in Jerusalem sent priests and Levites to ask him who he was. He did not fail to confess, but confessed freely, "I am not the Messiah." That right there is a testament to how strongly John felt about his message, because he could have easily taken credit for it, and he didn't. They asked him, "Then who are you? Are you Elijah?" He said, "I am not." "Are you the prophet?" He answered, "No." Finally, they said, "Who are you? Give us an answer to take back to those who sent us. What do you say about yourself?" John replied in the words of Isaiah the prophet, "I am the voice of one calling in the wilderness. Make straight the way for the Lord." Now the Pharisees who had been sent to question him, questioned him, "Why then do you baptize if you are not the Messiah, nor Elijah, nor the prophet?" "I baptize with water," John replied, "but among you stands one you do not know. He is the one who comes after me, the straps of whose sandals I am not worthy to untie." This all happened at Bethany on the other side of the Jordan where John was baptizing. I'm going to open to our study for the day from Our Daily Bread, which I did finally pick up our new copy. They were released yesterday at church when we were there, so I did get to grab that. And the study in Our Daily Bread says, "My friend Butch Briggs has been the beloved coach for the swim teams at a local high school for 51 years. Out of curiosity, I asked him how many state championships he'd won during his 5 decades. In his trademark gentle tone, he quipped, "I've not won a single championship because I've never swam in a single race." Trying again, I asked him, "How many championships have your swimmers won?" He happily responded, 39. Butch taught me a valuable lesson. A coach plays an important role, but he didn't want to take credit for what his swimmers accomplished. Butch's humility reminds me of how John the Baptist saw his role. John was tasked with pointing people to Jesus as the Messiah, the one who fulfills God's promise to send a rescuer. But John garnered so much attention that the religious leaders wanted to find out exactly who he was. In response, Scripture records that John confessed freely, "I am not the Messiah." Even when they pressed him, John was clear that his role was to announce Jesus' arrival. Jesus was the one they longed for. This aspect of humility, not taking more credit than is due, is a way we can keep a proper perspective regarding our accomplishments while recognizing others for assignments or roles they've been given. That is something I know I struggle with, or I did for a very long time. Not so much now. I want to make sure, one of my catchphrases is give credit where it's due. And it's one of those things where it's so easy to want all the credit. It's so easy to get lost in how good it feels to be praised and to be recognized. But it's not our place, and we need to remember to stay humble and not forget those that we're here to support and to build up. And that was Pastor's entire message yesterday, was about building up and supporting, and how we can encourage each other and bring each other, to a better state of being. We're not always going to do that. I mean, we're human, but welcome back, Brooke. But if we do our best to be constantly encouraging and reminding each other of what it means to walk with the Lord, and part of that comes from making sure that we're not taking credit for something that's not ours to take credit for, Hey, I saw that. What was that for?
He's refusing to eat and only drinking his
He
milk.
can drink his milk and then eat the cereal. That's fine.
But he's refusing to eat.
And well, he's not going to. You need to eat the cereal, buddy. If you wanted just milk, that was fine. You didn't have to have cereal and milk. Okay? But now that you have cereal, you need to eat what was poured, okay? Sophie, you owe him an apology. You should not have hit him. Don't glare at me. I saw what you did. We do not hit, and you know better. You are old enough to understand better. You owe your brother an apology. Excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. This is why I try to do my live streams before the kids are up for the day. Unfortunately, we're still setting that foundation for the expectation for what ladies and gentlemen behave as. So, and I dropped my hairbrush. Hold on. I am just not functioning today.
I was just lifting his foot.
would you please just keep your body off your brother's body? You do not need to make bodily contact, period, at all. Finish your cereal, grab your book, and go chill out by yourself because you need a moment away from people. But please finish what you poured so it doesn't go to waste. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm just not functioning as a human being today. It's a little frustrating. Like, I'm definitely leaning on God today. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Like, we've talked about it a little bit. So far I haven't heard anything from the doctor's office, so with the testing that I had done. Unfortunately not pregnant. I know I couldn't be. I shouldn't be able to be. Because with the Bean, he was my 5th delivery. And so they really heavily encouraged, and I signed the paperwork, and I had everything. I had the paths cut off. So I shouldn't be able to have any more babies. But my mom had the same procedure and had a baby 10 years later. So, I take it with a grain of salt. And I always pay attention to what my body's doing. But, oh, Michael, welcome. But as of my last doctor's appointment, there is no baby. So that's a blessing, honestly, with where we are in life right now. And I haven't gotten a phone call. So I should be healthy, because they said if they didn't call within 2 weeks, they just send the paperwork with the results of all my labs. So very cool. I do get a lot of Australian viewers here. That is interesting to me. Even when I do these later streams, there's a lot of people in Australia and New Zealand that watch our lives. So we were talking about the book of John, chapter 1, verses 19 through 28, and staying humble and making sure that we leave room for the people that deserve the credit to get the credit. Like, it could have been so easy when the Pharisees questioned him for John to say, "Oh yeah, yep, that's me. I'm the one you've been waiting for." And for them to believe him with the way that he was teaching and the waves he was making in the social circles. And he didn't. He took that opportunity to do what he'd been called to do and preach about the coming of Jesus. So to think about it from that perspective, and the way that he was so humble and remembered that this is my calling, this is my position, this is why I'm here, versus taking the credit. I mean, how many people do you know, or even yourself? Let's be honest here. I know that I would have been tempted to take the credit. Would have been wrong, but I would have been tempted. So it's just something to think about. How many times have you been in a position where you should be giving the credit to someone else? It's not yours to take. Do you do the right thing and make sure the right people get credit? I know I try to, because one of my favorite things to do is to lift other people up and make sure that they're being recognized for the effort that they put into something. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm thinking of going back to a more natural color soon, though, because this is faded out. It's run its course. I saw someone with the hair color I was looking for yesterday, and they told me of a different brand to try. So I will talk to Mr. Berry and see if we can bolden up the green a little bit again. But
I got raw milk on my pants.
yes, someone brought that up at our recovery meeting last week. Because our recovery talks about addiction of any kind, whether it's your standard alcohol and drugs, or it's food, or adult content, or whatever. Addiction is addiction. It looks. I've never had blonde hair. That was not me that you're thinking of. I've had red hair for a very long time. I had this for about a month and a half ish. I've had black, I've had blue, I've had purple. Never had blonde hair.
I gave him his dino shirt.
Okay, well, it needs to be washed. It actually needs to go in the washing machine.
Okay.
And it doesn't help him to eat his breakfast if you put it on him like that. This is why we try and stream before the kids are up. No, but it's a good argument, and I think staying humble is a good way to ensure that you're doing that too, because then you're not seeking the validation, and you don't risk yourself becoming one of those masters that you're trying to serve. So I think I'm really grateful that today's lesson was on humility. Because it's so easy getting caught up in trying to climb the ladders and trying to be in a higher standing in the social anarchy. It needs to be social anarchy. Why are we trying so hard? Structure. I keep seeing these videos on my YouTube feed talking about break the rules, throw out conventional societal rules. The rules don't exist. Why do you have to eat eggs or oatmeal, cereal, pancakes, whatever for breakfast? Why do you have to have your glasses in a cupboard? Why can't they be on a section of your counter, easy to get to? Why do you have to, it's like challenge those rules. And that's what I'm out here trying to do. Something I had to tell myself when I was a baby Christian was, you're going to be cringe. To a world that hates Christ, you will be cringe. And you need to stop being afraid of standing out and being cringe to be a good Christian. Because if we're so afraid of our image with others, how are we able to say, look at what my Father's doing? Look at what the King is doing. Look at what God has done in my life. All praise to him for all of the things that I've accomplished this year. Hey, that's enough, you two. What was that?
I love you too.
Oh. Hello. Honestly, it just boils down to we need to remember that we're here to spread that good news. And I'm grateful for that reminder from John today, because like I've been saying, and I feel like I'm talking in circles today, but I have to drive home the point because there's so many people coming in and out. Have to drive home the point. When the Pharisees were asking him who he was, it would have been so easy for him to say, oh yeah, that's me. And he didn't. They were coming already having this pre-notion of what they expected to find. And he threw that out and said, nope, I'm not that person. Nope, I'm not Elijah. No, I'm not a prophet. I'm merely the one that is making way for the Messiah you seek. So, faith, it is just hair dye coming out. None of those bold colors that we like to see are made to be permanent. So that's all. Probably going back to a natural color here soon. But what's up?
Getting noisy while you're live streaming.
Well, so do you. Finish your breakfast. Thank you.
And I did apologize.
Thank you. Anyways, I don't think this is going to be a very long one today. I don't have much else to say. I do better early morning. Usually we're here about 7 a.m. But like I said, I've been kind of sick today. So just being kind to myself, praying about it. If you guys have a minute, if you use the Discord app, we do have a link to our Discord. Great place to kind of hang out and chat. And we have channels for music and prayer requests and book suggestions. And we have someone there that does a verse of the day and shares that with us, so that if you don't make it to this live stream where we're discussing our daily bread study, you can still come and get a quick bite of the word. Although I will always recommend, nothing will beat sitting there and reading it yourself and being in the word and digging into the deeper meaning of what we're being taught. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. It's all right there, and we just need to crack it open and take it. And there's science supporting why we should do that. I saw a study recently. I'll have to find it. Maybe I'll make a community post about it when I find it. That talks about how depression levels in people that cracked open their Bible only 3 times per week reduced by, I believe it was 40 to 60%. So there is scientific evidence to support the mental health benefits of being in the Word and spending time with Jesus. And I just recommend that you take a moment today. It takes 10 minutes of reading to impact. And I notice it, like when Mr. Barry doesn't read, we get into a lot more stagnation. There's a lot more brick walling between the two of us. We don't communicate. We don't talk. We don't, things don't run smoothly in our house if either one of us is neglecting our study. So, I recommend, even if you're not reading the things that we talk about here, crack it open. A great place to start, where we were recommended to start as new believers, was the book of John. So reading the Gospels is always great. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. I love the book of Psalms. It's a great way to learn how to pray. The book of Proverbs, if you just need a quick quote for something that's going on in your life, the book of Proverbs has a lot of those little 2-line quotes that can really just give you that quick pick-me-up. Honestly, there is not a bad place in the Bible to turn to. So I recommend, even if you just, all right, God, show me, and let it fall open. If that's where you need to start, then that's where you start. But get in there. Get in there and read. I don't have the quote. I can't get into the chat, but it is in the description of the live stream. So if you don't see it right now, you can either check out a previous live stream within the last week or so, or when this one goes live post. The link will be in the description of the video. So I'm happy to have newcomers. We're excited to share the word with you guys. I appreciate everyone who's come out today. But I do need to give these kids a little more attention, as it is later in the day. So this is a shorter one. I love you all so much, but remember, God loves you even more. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.